I joined the police mainly to help people and to help those people in need for various reasons. I've been to a variety of incidents over the years and seen the unthinkable. Murder, rapes, assaults, fatal collisions. Some of those scenes just don't leave you. And you just can't be trained for how that will affect you. I yelled for my colleague and she appeared instantly. I had asked for a knife. She got one and we managed to cut the plastic webbing above his head away. We naturally all then went towards the ground. She assisted in me taking the ligature, if you like, off from around his neck. And there was something so surreal in that. I mean, his neck was so tiny. It was just like the neck of a child or on an adult. It became evident that we needed help immediately. So a radio call was put in. The paramedics were en route. My colleague consoled his partner at the top of the stairs who was crying and trying to absorb everything that had just taken place. It took a short while, I'm sure, but every second felt like a minute, every minute felt like an hour. And I was just met with this horrible sigh once the plastic webbing had been released from his neck. It was just horrendous. I think of all the things that I've done in my policing career, that's certainly one thing that stays in my mind and I will never forget. I always believe in doing the best that I can for people and helping them. That night was never more important, more than I'd ever believed, really. Eventually, paramedics arrived. The critical incident manager arrived, who's the duty inspector. I remember feeling so exhausted and sat back on the ground and let them do their thing. And they were absolutely magnificent. I can't praise them enough. They knew the magnitude of what they were dealing with. They took over. It all happened so very quickly, and you hear that so many times as a police officer. You hear that people say, "Oh, it just happened so fast," but yeah, that's how things normally occur. So after a while, they prepared him to get him on the gurney, if you like. So they got him on the gurney on the first floor, and they strapped him in and elevated him, and then rushed him out to the ambulance waiting outside. It was a February cold morning, and there was lots of lights flashing outside, and it almost played out like it was in slow motion. I remember walking down the stairs, and there were people around, and I walked outside. I was approached by a sergeant who was speaking with me, and I have no idea to this day what he was saying. I think because my senses were so heightened. I just walked past him, and I walked a short distance around the corner on this hill where the house was, and as I turned the corner, I was still sort of understanding what I had just witnessed. All of a sudden, it's really difficult to describe, but it just felt like everything came back. I could hear again, I could obviously see, but everything seemed like the clock had got back to normal. I walked back towards the house and was met with people, and they were asking me questions, and I was answering them, and yeah, it was just such a strange experience. We were taken off towards another station and debriefed about what had happened. The gravity of that was conveyed And my colleague and I then went back to our home station, if you like. I don't think we spoke very much to each other. And I got a call on the radio, and I'd answered it. And the operator seemed very, very solemn on the radio. And she said, just to let you know that the chap has passed away. I just felt like I wanted to cry, because we joined the police to help people. We joined the police to save life. I didn't cry, of course. I couldn't show that in the police station. It just felt so real. Eventually, we were stood down. I got changed and got into my own car and drove home. About halfway in the journey, as I'd been processing it in my mind, I cried, and it just felt like an outpouring, a release, if you like, of all that emotion. I don't think I'll ever forget that. The irony is that night, I was due to go to a concert, which I still attended, and I was surrounded by thousands and thousands of people to this music concert. And the strange thing was, God, I felt so alone. I felt incredibly alone.